Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna wait for some friends to come along. I'm trying to learn how to invite people. I don't think I'm doing very well with his friends, but they'll come, I guess. They'll come. How you guys doing today? I hope you all had a good day, a good Tuesday, and a good start to the week. We'll wait for some more friends to come on. Hi, Rukia. I see you down there. I'm glad you guys are joining us. It's going to be a really, really good conversation with one of my favorite people. So I'm very glad that you joined. It's an important topic that we're going to discuss today. And you all know that I love to talk about diversity. So this is going to be a good conversation, and I've been looking forward to it. Hi, Nanku. I see you. Thanks for joining us, friends. Thank you. If you guys would invite a couple of people, that would be really awesome. I would appreciate that. I'm going to invite some more people as well. So how was your day, guys? How was your day? Anybody got anything exciting going on? Tell me in the chat. I had a really, really busy day. One of those days where you feel like you're just like going around in circles. That's the kind of day that so you guys, can you guys hear me and see me okay? Can someone tell me? Because it keeps blinking out here. Are we good? Oh, Nanku, Sister just told me how to do it. It's the little arrow at the bottom to invite people. And yeah, I just learned how to do that myself. Okay, good. Thank you for telling me you can hear me. When I was doing the video the other day, I just got kicked off of Instagram totally. So I'm not quite sure what happened. We do not want that to happen tonight. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to these weekly interviews. So my name is Naomi with Naomi Books LLC. I am the author of Johari The Great. Let me grab that for you. This is the book that I wrote, Johari The Great. It is about a boy, his imagination, and a freshly sharpened pencil. It's actually about a boy who's inspired by his teacher to use his imagination to do great things. And that's exactly what he does, Johari The Great. So since I am a children's book author myself, as an indie author, we don't always get the opportunity to be seen and be noticed and be heard the way that other authors do that are with the big publishing houses. So this is my way of introducing you to some very special authors, talented, outstanding authors with wonderful messages for our children. And you get to meet them here where you otherwise probably wouldn't be able to meet them. And so I like this little setting that we have because you guys send in the questions that I ask the authors. And like I said, it keeps them on their toes because they don't know what we're going to ask. I don't even know which one I'm going to pick. So it's pretty cool. It's really nice. And I appreciate you guys joining me every Tuesday. We moved the time to 6:30, and I hope that that was beneficial to you all. I had a few people tell me that they're rushing to get home from work so that they can listen in. And I want to make it convenient for you guys to be here with me. Okay? Good. So, first things first, my shirt. Black Writers Matter, because we do. And this shirt, I love it. And you can find this shirt at My Pride Apparel. At My Pride Apparel. And I love that. I really do. So, that's my little commercial. And we're going to get started. My friend Rukia K wrote a book called Latina Looks Like Me. And this is the book. And I love that. Look at that illustration. So, as much as I love speaking about diversity, this book does it all right here for me. And the unique thing about this book is that the diversity that she's speaking about is within the Latina community, right? So when you think about Latina, it's not just one big ball, it's all kinds of little pieces in between. Just like any community, just like any country, or our country anyway, and just like the world, we're all different. So she has a wonderful message. I can't wait for you to hear it. I'm going to, of course, share some of the book, my favorite part, which I'm excited to do so that you can hear it. And we're going to learn about her background, and her book. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to bring Rukia in. She'll be on in just a second. Hello, everyone. If I didn't say hello, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello. Hi, Naomi. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Rukia. I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Very good. Good to see you. Good to see you. You're looking good. Can you hear well? Can you hear, Rukia? You're kind of frozen a little bit. Are you? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Uh-oh, friends. It looks like she's having some trouble. So she'll come back in, okay? Because I couldn't hear. I could hear her, but I don't think she could hear us very well. So she'll come back in, and we will get started. Hi there, Trina. Hey, sister. Sparkling Eyes. Hello. Did I get everybody? Hi, Brooke Patterson, author. SRD Harris, thank you for joining. Yeah, this shirt is pretty nice, right? At My Pride Apparel. At My Pride Apparel. Black Writers Matter. Because we do. Danielle, hello. Thank you for joining. Everything Michael, thank you. Yes, let me tell you, Nanku, about this wall decal. When I first got it, I mentioned it in the video. This is actually the back of my book, guys. I love this thing. I love this. And I love it being behind me when I'm doing the videos. So this is the back cover illustration from my book. And the company that did this is Tiny Tots and Tykes. I know this is backward, but Tiny Tots and Tykes. This is 24 inches, and it's a very, very thick decal, not the flimsy kind that's going to peel or break. I made a mistake a couple of times and had to move it, and it was perfect. It's very nice and heavy. So anyway, get your character done. That's pretty cool, right? To have it there on the wall, or you could take it with you to a show for advertising. Tiny Tots and Tykes. All right, so let's see if Rukia can come back. I'll try to invite her and see if that helps. So what's going on in your part of the woods there? Wait a minute, SRD Harris had a book, her launch today with Kickstarter, right? And I supported her because the book actually is connected to an animal shelter, and the story is about teaching children how to be kind and empathetic to animals. Is that right? Did I get that right? But her Kickstarter started today, so follow her and support her. Let's support each other. Okay, so I think she's trying to come back in. Hi, hi, my writing coach is there. Hello. Okay, now we're gonna try this again, friends. Just hang in there. Hang in there. Great, good. SRD Harris Books, guys.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened.
Me neither.
I don't know, but it's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Yes, welcome to Kid Author Connect. This is going to be fun. This is going to be good. So I'm excited to talk with you and have everyone else be able to meet you too. So I have so many things that I want to say because you and I have all of these strange connections that we didn't know about. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, God just wove us into each other's paths. So I want to share that first. I reviewed your book a few months ago, and I was really impressed with the book. And the same thing that I talked about with Teshay last week, the book really touched my heart, right? And so I told you, you know, I was really impressed with your message. So when we started coming together as sister authors, you were right there at the top of my list that I knew immediately who I was going to invite.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I love your message, and I love you now that I know a little bit more about you. It's kind of funny, guys. Our connection is really strange because as you learn Rukia's story, I'll tell you more because I don't want to spoil it. But the main thing that I just found out after I had already fallen in love with her and her story and her book, this girl lives a half an hour away from me. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe that.
I know that was crazy. I was like, what?
Right,
Believe it.
right. That's really nice. So anyway, we'll be getting together, after COVID goes, calms down. But welcome, and I want you to take a moment and introduce yourself to everyone to make sure that I'm saying your name right, that I've given all the good information. So go ahead.
Okay, well, I am Rukia Kanoga. I am a self-published author from Metro Detroit. I am the author of Latina Looks Like Me. It's a book that celebrates the diversity within the Latino culture. I'm an Afro Latina, so this book was very important for me to write because there's still a lack of representation of the honest depiction of what a Latina looks like. And so I wrote this book as an ode to my 10-year-old self because I grew up with so many identity issues. And so when I started writing this book, I had to think, like, what did I need as a child? What would have helped me feel affirmed and seen? And so that's the place I wrote this book from.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I knew you were going to share that, and I'm glad you started with that because those are some of the questions that were sent in. We got some good questions for you this week.
Oh, look forward to it.
Yes, a lot of times we get general questions, excuse me, but people are particularly interested in your story. So I wanted you to share a little bit of that, and we'll go into it further. But first, I want people to get to know you, Rukia, okay? You as a person, right? Because this is something I learned from my writing coach. She said, if people like you, they will like your book and they will buy your book. Absolutely. If they don't like you, they ain't buying your book.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the gold nuggets I got from her.
I agree.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, so we know you're from Metro Detroit. Mm-hmm. I'm from Metro Detroit too. Mm-hmm. And like I said, for those of you who just joined us, we had no idea, we're sister authors, but had no idea that we lived a half an hour away from each other. So that's just wonderful. I love that so much. So let's see, do you have children?
I do. I have a son.
You have one son?
Mm-hmm. He's 13.
Okay.
Yep. 13 years old, a boy named Mark. Me busy, but for the summer he's with his dad. So he goes with his dad for the summer. Good. So kind of just enjoying my free time. I kind of don't know what to do with myself because I'm always having him around. So
yes,
he's celebrating. Well, he's not celebrating. He's spending his summer break in Georgia right now. So
that's nice.
He loves it.
Nice. I just met a new friend today from Georgia, from Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh yeah, I've heard about Valdosta.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you. So with you and Mark, what is one of your favorite things to do with your son?
I would have to say, Mark and I like to go on nature trails. There's a lot of nature trails around where I live. And when I first moved here, I didn't really explore that. So in the last few years, we've gone and hit up different trails. And so that's one of our favorite bonding moments. It's away from the technology because he's on his phone or on his game. And it's kind of a way we can spend quality time together. So yeah, so when we go on our nature trails, it's fun. Yeah.
Okay. My daughter and my grandchildren, they do that a lot. They do a lot of nature trails, and now they're in Africa, so they'll do a lot of exploring.
That's so awesome. I would like to take Mark. I'm praying in December. I have a friend that's getting married in Tanzania, and I would love to take Mark so that he can see that other side of my culture too.
Exactly. I can't wait for you to share that with. And listen, if you do that, girl, you need to let me know now because I'll be going over myself.
Look forward to in December. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. We're talking. Okay, so now you've got your mommy time. And my next question was, what do you like to do for yourself when you have your free time? And you have the whole summer. Yeah. So what do you like to do just for yourself?
I think, what is my favorite thing to do? Before COVID, I used to be on the Detroit dancing social dancing, like Detroit
Girl,
ball.
stop. Are you serious?
Yes, I used
So
to.
was I.
I love dancing.
I
I
do
would go
too. Ballroom, right?
get ballroom dancing,
Yes.
salsa dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's something to do. It's a great workout, and
It
it's
is.
get to meet new people. Like, just I've met so many friends just by dancing. So it's
Yeah.
but I haven't been able to do that this
Oh
year,
no.
COVID.
Oh no. You
So
can't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, well, Detroit Ballroom is huge. If you guys out there, if you're not from Detroit, you may not know that, but we have a very big Black ballroom community,
yes,
and we are serious about it. And in Chicago, they step, but
yep,
here in Detroit, we ballroom, right?
yep. That's right.
And
That's
it's beautiful. It's a way to socialize, like you said, and you always have something to do. But the Detroit ballroom community really suffered with COVID. They
yes,
lost many people.
absolutely. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow. Like if
Yes, yes. When COVID hit, um, one of my friends is, and she and her husband are still in the community, and they really dance a lot. She declined to go to this white party, and it
hmm
was in early March when we were first learning. And so
hmm
there was this big white party in the middle of March of 2020. And she just said, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable going. They didn't go, but about 12 people
Yep,
in about 2 weeks that had gone to these events passed away.
yep. I
It
remember.
was, yeah, it was very sad.
Very sad, very sad. Oh my goodness, I remember that. And yeah, so unfortunately, due to COVID, I have not been able to do it. I do see that they're starting to dance again. I'm seeing different events outdoors and things. I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, but
Yeah,
I look forward to getting back to it though eventually.
yeah. It's
Some,
close contact. That's not something you can do 6 feet apart,
absolutely,
so.
that's true.
Yeah, yeah. So other than that, you'll just have to find some outdoor activities.
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting into tennis. I have a friend, and I said let's try tennis. So they have a few classes here where I live, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna look into that. I'm
Good.
just like try different things. I think that's kind of where I am in my life, exploring different
That's
things.
good.
What I like, what I don't. What I don't like. I kind of used to have a very monotonous life. Like my life was very structured, and I did the same things every day. So I'm starting to get out of that. So
Good for you. And do you think that your book, being an author, has helped you with that? I
absolutely.
bet.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I always tell people. 2 years ago, I had no intention on being an author. It's amazing how this happened, and I'm so grateful that I listened to that inner voice. But to be honest with you, it took me a while to really sit there and say I'm going to do it. I think I tried to talk myself out of it several times,
Yes, I
and
can relate.
glad I did not.
No, we're all glad. And that was one of the questions that I generally ask the guest here is, was being an author, was that a long held dream, or is it something that is like this new new thing that happened to you? And I think you just answered that.
Yep.
So it
I
wasn't a long held desire.
No, I think at the top of 2020 is when I started really thinking about it. I think the
Hmm.
book actually started off as a coloring book, and then I realized soon after that I had a message that I would like to share.
Yes.
So that's how it turned into what is now Latina Looks Like Me.
Well, I'm glad that you realized that you had that message. You
Thank you.
just practice. And so, why don't you, for the people that aren't familiar with your book, give a quick summary of your book?
Okay, so the book it's just a book of affirmations. It's what my intention with the book is for young girls to embrace their characteristics, their hair textures, their skin tones. There's a lot of biases, unfortunately, within the Latino culture. Many people, even due to our mass media, you only see Latinos with European
A
features,
certain type of Latina, right?
but that's definitely not true. There's so
Right.
many variations. Black Latinas, Asian Latinas. I mean, there's so many different variations. So for me, it was important that my book depicted this and showed that
Yes.
Latina does not have a specific look, because I grew up and people would be like, "You're not Latina," but I'm like, I'm going home to a Spanish speaking mother. I'm eating Spanish food. It's like it was always me having to defend that I was truly a Latina,
Yeah.
even though I did not look um
The
what
way they thought you should look, right? The typical, that what they think is typical.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
That's an important message, you know, for children, not just in the Latino community, but children that come from different heritage or mixed heritage. I don't like to say mixes. It's not food, you know, they're people, but that have a duo heritage, you know, a double heritage, which is something to embrace and be proud of and
Yeah.
celebrate both sides.
Absolutely. I struggled with that. I think I struggled with that because I was like, none of my friends, you know, none of my peer groups, no one else had that experience. So for me, I felt like I was the only one. You know, I have an African father, I have a Hispanic mother. It was just totally, it was just different. And so I grew up with this not feeling secure in who I was. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what
Okay. So it seems like you through the book, or did you get through this, or is this something that continued through your adulthood?
I did get through it. I think that you know, the book actually was something that was therapeutic for me. I think that I started to embrace it and accept my heritage. I would have to say in my late 20s.
Wow.
Late 20s. I think that's when it kind of started to click. I think I always felt that I had to hide parts of myself all the time. So yeah, absolutely. I think that I have gotten over that. And so for me, it's like the next generation coming up, let me see if I can put a stop to that. I don't know if there, you know, I wrote this book from a perspective that there may be other girls who
Right.
insecurities like I did.
Right.
And so, and you know what? Actually, that is true. I mean, so many women have reached out to me and girls, thanking me for writing a book that they needed in their childhood. Because
Right.
again, it's a being a Black Latina is something that's very unrepresented and not really talked about or not acknowledged. And so, I mean, we're starting to have conversations now. Movements like Black Lives Matter has helped to.
Yes, I agree with that.
We were able to kind of solidify our voices there.
Hmm.
For a long time, you know, we were just underrepresented.
Yeah, that's really good because, you know, what the reason why we write is to reach children as children's book authors. We're not just trying to entertain. I mean, we have to keep the children entertained, but I say this a lot. We're not just entertaining, we're trying to inspire, educate, and inform children. You know, so that's why I felt like your message was really important.
Thank you.
Because if you struggled with that growing up all the way through your adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
of course there's going to be more girls out there that are struggling.
Yep.
And so you're speaking to them, and I think that's really important.
Thank you.
I do want to share something. Oh, there's a long message there.
I
Okay.
know she is.
Okay.
Thank
Do
you
you,
so
you want
much.
to read it?
Yeah, she said, I love that
Your book.
I'm sorry, your book is doing this topic because my daughter is dealing with that as a light-skinned Black girl, people asking her what she is she mixed, like she can't be pretty as just a Black girl. Absolutely.
Hello.
I definitely,
Yes.
my book definitely speaks to this. Absolutely.
Yes.
Colorism, unfortunately, within, you know, the Black American community, still
Latin community. Hmm.
the Latino community, absolutely
Yes.
does exist.
I can relate to that too. I can't even tell you how long it is between the time somebody's asking me where I'm from or what are you, or
Mm-hmm.
people will just come up to me and ask me what are you.
What do you mix
It's
with?
like, well, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of rude.
Yeah,
First
absolutely.
of all,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it is rude, but yes, when you're young, that really starts to put doubt in your heart, like where do I fit in, right?
Absolutely.
Where do I fit in? And I also now I'm just spilling my personal struggles, but you're inspiring me with this book. But I was called names growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, white girl. You know, I was always called that. You
Mm,
know, and
yep.
I'm way older than you, so back in my day, that you know, that was very hurtful
Mm-hmm.
because I lived in a Black community. So by you calling me a white girl, that means you don't want me,
Yep.
right? I don't fit in. So I can imagine this situation, you
Mm-hmm.
know, with you are Latina and you are African, actually.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. Right. So tell the people where your dad is from.
So my father is from Tanzania, Africa. So he was born there, and both of my parents migrated here in the 80s. So, yep, that's where my father is from. My father, so I grew up with two different dynamics. My father speaking Swahili, my mother
Right.
Spanish. It was totally different, very interesting. But one thing I will say, and I always tell people that my parents were very culturally rich, meaning like they didn't veer too far away from their cultures, which I feel like I'm grateful for now.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's
It,
a blessing because your upbringing was culturally rich on both sides.
yep, absolutely.
Yes. And tell them where your mother comes from.
So my mother is from Panama. She was born and raised in Panama. And she moved just like my dad. She moved here in the 80s, and just for a better opportunity, better education. And yeah, so she grew up in Panama City, Panama.
That's
And
beautiful.
yep, she speaks Spanish. And so she learned English actually when she moved here. So yeah, but it's been interesting. So I'm the first generation born here. Absolutely.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Nanku saying Jambo.
Yeah,
That's Swahili, everybody.
Swahili. Thank
So you know I'm taking Swahili lessons now. My son has sent me the entire Pimsleur course so that I can know
I
what to
love it.
say when I
Such
come over.
language. Swahili is one of those languages. I like it because it's simple. Everything looks as as you're reading it. It's no hidden letters. There's no hidden sounds. I really love Swahili. It's a very beautiful language.
I
Very.
think it's very beautiful.
Mhm.
So, you know, I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not for me anyway. You know, it's another language that I have to learn now, but I'm very excited. So for those of you out there wondering why I'm learning Swahili, one of the connections that Rukia and I have that I did not realize when I was reviewing her book several months ago is that her father is from, is it Tanzania or Tanzania?
Tanzania.
Okay, because they're saying Tanzania over there too.
Okay.
So I think people say it differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe
okay. So
it says
for,
that I have an American accent when I try to say things in Swahili. So maybe that's what it is.
okay, okay. So her dad is from Tanzania, and when I found that out, I was very surprised because my son and his family just moved to Tanzania.
That's so
They
amazing.
just moved there, which was really crazy. I thought that was a crazy connection. And then I find out that you're from Detroit and that you live a half an hour away from me. It was just meant to be.
Absolutely. I do believe
Yeah, it
divine.
was meant to be.
Hmm.
So if I was to ask you, you know, who inspired your book, I think my answer is you inspired your book.
Yep. I would have to say just my like again my inner child in the books in my thank yous or my acknowledgments I thank myself first because I well first God of course but then after
Yeah,
that
yeah, I get it. I
I
get
thank
it.
myself because it was like it was an inner voice. It was something that I know I needed as a child, and so again this book was very healing for me. It was very healing because
That's
again, I
good.
grew up with like always having to defend my Latina side. No one ever questioned me on being African.
I was going
You
to
know,
ask you that. That was going to be my next question.
because my name, Rukia Kanoga, I have a strong African name. Uh,
Hmm.
clearly, and so anyway, that side has never been questioned. So I never had to defend that side much, but it was always the Latina side. No one has ever seen Black Latinas, and my whole family, they're all Black. On my mom's side, they're all Black, and there's a lot of Panamanians here in Detroit too. They
Hmm.
are Black,
Darker skin,
most of them. Yeah,
darker skin tones. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I want before we take some viewer questions, I wanted to share some of the illustrations because your illustrations are beautiful.
Thank you so
They
much.
are beautiful, and I heard you speak about how important that was to you.
Hmm.
Um, so, if you wanted to speak about your illustrator and the process, I'll show the illustrations while you speak.
Sure. So I found my illustrator on a freelance site, and his work was impeccable. He was the one I just wanted to work with. I wasn't sure that I could afford him, and I'm just kind of like, that's the person though. And so we worked out something, and he was able to help bring my ideals to life. I mean, it was very. I was very intentional with how I wanted the characters to look.
They're
I
beautiful. Aren't they beautiful, guys? These illustrations are so realistic and bright and
and
colorful and beautiful, like you said.
that's what I want. Initially, they were more 2D. I think I'll show more pictures on my Instagram of how the girls started because they looked totally different in the beginning than they do now. But I did want them to be realistic. I really wanted the the dark skinned girls. I wanted her to have the baby hairs. I wanted her to have textured hair. I really wanted to show an accurate depiction, because I don't feel like it's accurately depicted in media. So again,
it's not, because I think if you ask someone what Latina looks like,
thank you.
they would say Jennifer Lopez.
Absolutely, Jennifer Lopez.
She's
Absolutely,
beautiful, but that doesn't mean that that's what everyone looks like if you're a Latina, right? Because look at this. I mean, this picture right here, I love because it's a close up.
Thank you. Yes,
Look
that's
at that.
one of my favorites. Yep, it was just, yep. But yeah, we come in all different shades, variations, and so Latina does not have one look. That's pretty much what the message is. It's so many variations of us.
And you know what I think is really beautiful, Rukia, is that a little girl can look in here and say, yeah, that's my mouth. Oh, yeah, that's my skin tone. That's my nose.
Yep.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
You covered everything.
Yes.
You covered everything.
Yes, I agree. J-Lo is the gold standard.
Gold standard according to mainstream media. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like you said, she has that European look.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know. She's Puerto Rican, right?
Yep. She's from Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Again, very, very, he was so good with helping me bring my ideas to life. So
I love it, because as I look at it, I'm thinking about real little girls.
Yeah.
So your decision to make them very realistic, it actually does something to you and makes that connection where I'm literally thinking about a little girl. When I reviewed your book, that's what I was saying. I can imagine a little girl finding herself here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I can imagine you being that little girl who needed this.
Absolutely. I really did. And so thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, look at that.
These comments, everyone's so kind. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, that's also my favorite illustration. One of my favorites. So that one it was important because if you look to the left, the girl with the Panamanian flag, that was my mom. So there was a lot of symbolisms in the book. Next to her is the girl from the Brazil, and she, I wanted them to know that Latinas also speak Portuguese, so it was important to include Brazil. The next one over is Costa Rica, where my grandmother is from, so I wanted to definitely have an element, both actually my grandmother and grandfather. Okay. And then the last girl is the African. Well, she's actually Afro Latina, and I wanted to show that it's kind of indicating and speaking to the African diaspora and how there were Black Latinos dropped off in Latin America.
Yes, and people need to realize that the diaspora is vast.
Yep.
We didn't all come to South Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's vast. We didn't all come to America.
Not all, even to Latin America. I mean, all over. All
over. We are all over. And have you noticed the movement pretty much of expats, like people, brown and black skinned people leaving this country and going back home to the motherland?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, but I don't know. I think for some people it might be hard to try to connect back to that. You know what I mean? It's taken away. So
because you don't know where you're from. You are blessed to know.
Absolutely. Yes, I am. I am blessed to be able to trace my lineage. Well, actually, on the Latina side, I'm a Black Latina on that side too. So
on that side too.
So actually, the slave diaspora definitely correlates to me too. So, all we do know is that the slaves were taken from West Africa. So I have some connection there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Tanzania is in East Africa.
East Africa.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
This is one of my favorite pages. So I actually chose this is one of the pages I'm going to share with everyone. This is so that's the last page.
Yeah, the girls just dancing, doing their own thing.
All unique, and that's what you showed. Even before I read anything, I think you get the emotional feeling. These are unique, beautiful girls, each in their own way, but they're all a part of the Latina community.
Absolutely.
Right? Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Do you guys have any questions for her before we move on? I'll check back because we are going to pick.
Thank you all
questions now. Oh, beautiful, beautiful comments.
Thank you.
They love the illustrations. Of course, I knew they would. Of course, I knew they would. So, ta-da! Here are the questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, I'll make sure I get everybody's. Okay, so these were sent in by followers. And what they do is they send me private messages and give me questions for you. So we'll get started, okay?
Yeah, let me answer a question. Yes, actually, I do have books in stock. So if you would like, you can purchase it on Amazon, or if you just DM me, I can send you one personally. So if you DM me, I can help you have a book. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and her website also is the same name as the book, Latina Looks Like Me.
Yep. Thank
so
you.
You can order there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Well, before I do this, I do want to ask you two things.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. Your book is filled with messages. There's a message on every page. But what are the two things you most want children to remember from your book?
That Latina has no skin tone, and that there's nothing wrong with embracing your characteristics and things that make you unique.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good. And they really are wrapped into one. From my experiences growing up and just growing up and maybe looking different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the number one thing for children. When you look different, whether you think it's a good different or not so good different, or if your hair is different, children pick on you and children single you out.
They do.
And my hair was the main topic of being tormented as a kid.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I got a lot of teasing and I was super self-conscious about it. And what do you do? I mean, it's the hair that's growing out of your head. I can't. What am I supposed to do to fit in? It's
right.
My hair, But for me, it was looks, and I know other people, it was looks. And if you don't look this way, normal, straight across the board, then people make you a target. Children do that.
Yep, they do. Yeah.
And it's unfair. So a book like this, well, geez, I needed this book, actually, I mean, because look, we're all beautiful. We're all beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it. Okay. All right, first question. This is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What is one cultural similarity that you notice with the Latina and Afro American culture or African American culture?
Okay.
What's one similarity that you found?
I would have to say the sense of I feel there's a sense of pride and unity when it comes to loving our families.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's good.
I would say it's very similar. The way we, a lot of my Black American friends. I mean, we have those getting together Soul Food Sunday. We have that too. So it's very that whole idea of coming together from food, bringing food and it's bringing us all together. It's a place
yes.
that connect. It's a place that we can all like fellowship. And so I would have to say, that love our families and
families. Yeah. And when you think about it, when you think of our history, it's not strange that that's what would be to connect us is family and food.
Yep.
When you think of the diaspora,
absolutely,
and the struggles that our ancestors had gone through, that is a way of showing love and hanging on to each other, coming together and breaking bread.
Absolutely.
That's really good. That's a good question. Is there another question here? No, someone else is saying yes, the family feeling. She agrees on that one. Yeah. All right, let's pick another one. Picking one blind here. Let's see. Okay, this one says, what is something surprising about you that we don't know but would be surprised?
What is that? Let's see.
You shared the ballroom dancing already.
Yep, ballroom dancing. I'm trying to think of something else. Let's see. I don't speak either of my parents' languages fluently. So
But you're taking Spanish.
I'm taking Spanish, and I do understand both languages pretty good, though. My Spanish is pretty good. So what happens if my mom is speaking Spanish, I'll just respond in English. You know, it's I grew up around it, so it's not hard to understand. And even with Swahili, I mean, my dad, I think now he's so surprised at how much I know. And yeah, so and do I have any
You have
siblings?
siblings.
Yes, I do. I do have siblings. So I have a sister, and I have three brothers. And so, yep, I have, and I'm the eldest. I'm the eldest.
Oh.
So, I'm the one that kind of keeps everybody in order. I'm the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stand it, but yeah. So no, I'm the eldest of all of everyone though. So yep, I have a sister. She's 2 years younger than I am, and then there's a big gap with the brothers. My brothers are, wow, I'm 17 years older than my brothers.
Oh,
So
wow.
they are my brother's about to be 15. Yep. Yep.
So I know you boss him around.
Yep. Yep. You tell.
That's funny. So are they relating to your experience?
Well, I would have to say, so let's see. My sister can definitely relate.
Okay.
My brothers are actually my half brothers. So
Okay.
my brothers are fully Tanzanian. So not necessarily,
Right. But your sister being a girl too, so.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and she has a daughter. And so I felt like it was important for my niece to have this message.
Yes.
So, you know, because I know my son,
Yes.
my niece, they see how I'm sure they see the same thing I seen growing up. Their families are different. They speak different languages. And I want them to be proud of that.
Yes.
My son just told me the other day, like, Mom, I want to take Spanish in school. And I'm like, this is so,
Good.
you know,
Good.
so I'm
Good.
keep him, is in, I don't want him to veer too far away from that. I want him to be proud of his culture as well, too. So absolutely.
Well, it's things like this, like your book. I'm going to hold it up for people that just came on. It's things like this book that teaches that the community is diverse but beautiful and unique. You know, everyone is included, everyone belongs.
Absolutely.
Those are the kind of messages that children like your niece, you know, and the younger children in your family, they're going to benefit from what you have left. So it's really a legacy, Rukia.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It is a legacy. And I'm so honored. No one in my family is an author. I really had to step out on faith with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Unconventional idea that came to me that I feel that was divine from God.
It was. I bet it was.
I'm so glad that I listened, because I think told you I really tried to like put this at the back of my mind and just, but I couldn't. It would just never die. It was something, it was one of those things where
I'm so glad.
I think about it, someone would randomly ask me, like, you remember that idea you said about doing a children's book? You should do it. Or I will be on my Instagram and I'll see someone who inspires me who wrote a book. So I said, you know what? I can do this. I can do it. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah, someone is saying that I would say all children benefit from this book to learn about the beauty in other cultures.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. You don't have to be Latina to learn from this book. And this actually answers that. Look at that. That's the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the world. It's a big community. I just want to share a few pages for people who just came in. This is one of my favorites too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful message. It's a beautiful message.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to pick another question for you. You're doing great with these answers.
Thank you.
Okay, this says, what are your trials and triumphs? So we'll go with one. What is your one trial from being an author and with this book, and one triumph? And I have a triumph in mind that I want to ask you about, but maybe you'll pick something else.
Okay, a trial. Well, let's start with the triumph. I would have to say, I'm just so glad that I became a voice to something. I spoke to something that, again, is not often spoken about. I'm glad that I was able to contribute to the conversation because, we're starting to talk about it. People are starting to learn about Afro Latina.
Yes.
We have, people who watch, a lot of people always reference or ask me about Amara La Negra. I don't watch the Love and Hip Hop, but there is a girl on there who is Afro Latina, but she has been an advocate and she's been using her voice and her platform to show that Black Latinas do exist. So I think that is so awesome. And I'm just grateful that I have been able to be a part of that conversation. And so for me, it was important to start with the younger generation. I
Yes.
start with the children, you know,
Yes.
and so the next generation coming up doesn't have to go out into the world not knowing that a Latina looks different. I want to break that stigma and the stereotypes associated with Latinas only being only having European features. So,
Looking like Jennifer Lopez. I mean, really, that's really, or Selena.
or Selena,
Right.
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who you're talking about on Love and Hip Hop. She
Oh,
loves her.
she's awesome. I don't, like, again, I don't watch it, but I'm a little
I don't either. I don't know either.
very vocal about Afro Latinas. I actually saw
Good for her.
did a news interview about it, and it's so funny. She kept saying, "What does a Latina look like? What is a Latina supposed to look like?" And it's like that's what my book is.
That's your book.
Absolutely, it's so funny. She kept saying that, but yeah, that's the argument that most Latinas actually Latinos in general, Black Latinos,
The general community. Yeah.
that's what they experience.
Right.
So I'm just happy
So
that
what?
I contribute to the positive conversation of.
Right.
Mhm.
So you just made a good point. So when you're speaking of the community at large, male and female, you would say Latino.
Latino, absolutely.
So if it has an A at the end, then we're just talking about the women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
And
a trial. One trial.
a trial, I would have to say, what was a trial? I've learned so much on this journey. I've made so many mistakes here.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all?
I would have to say something I wish that I would have let's see. I think I would have promoted I would have asked hired help to help me promote the book.
There you go. So a trial for you was promotion and marketing.
Yes. Because
I bet you every author on here is going to raise their hand and say, yes, that was a trial for me as well.
yeah, so I am going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and invest in it because I feel like it's so important to get this message out there. But that's something, and it's hard as an indie author. No one really knows who I am. So I'm glad that I'm able to organically build a following, but it's going to take some time. I'm realizing that
it's hard, Rukia. It really is, and you're here and you're speaking to an audience that otherwise wouldn't have even met you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a part of that. This is a part of building your following because your message is amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm just so grateful. Like I said,
yes, I'm going to hold the book up again because I want everyone to see it.
Yes, we did it. You're right. The groove.
Right. A Latina Looks Like Me. So we're going to ask a couple more questions. I'm going to take them here, see what we get. You've been handling them all very well. We haven't stumped you.
You were going to talk about a triumph. Do you remember?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you what I think is a triumph is something that I know about, and I'd like for you to speak to everybody else about it. You were selected to do a presentation on your book and your message to a university.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
So why don't you share? That's major.
Yeah, it's huge. So
major.
Valley State University here in Michigan asked me to be a keynote speaker for Hispanic Heritage Month. So I am currently
I'm gonna share some more. Go ahead.
I'm currently in the process of tailoring my message because what I want the audience to know after leaving again is that I want them to have a different outlook on what Latinas look like. I want them to understand diversity a little bit better and to just not just look at someone and just think that, oh, they're this or that,
That's right.
Okay? So I'm so excited for the opportunity.
I'm happy for you, and I'm so excited for you as well.
I never thought that, I never considered myself an author and then now a speaker. It's so interesting. I mean, I'm just like, wow, the opportunities that I've been getting, it's just been such a blessing.
Yes.
I've encountered so many people along the way and the opportunities that have come my way. I'm just so grateful for them.
Because your message is meant to be out.
Thank you.
Your message is meant to be shared, and that's why you're here with me tonight. You're going to have so many other opportunities. This is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, Latina is diverse. It's not just one look, one person, one eye color, one skin tone.
Everybody, thank you. Books by Deidre, thank you. They're so awesome.
Yes, well, you deserve it. You definitely deserve it. So now comes my favorite part
Mhm.
where I get to read from your book. I get to read my favorite part of your book,
Okay.
which is kind of hard. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. I'm moving too fast because I didn't ask the next question. I had already picked it.
Okay.
Okay, so the next question says, what is one thing that you love about the Latina culture? One thing that you love. I know there's many, but
Mhm.
what is one thing that's dear to your heart?
I would have to say, man, you're right. It is hard. The
Yeah,
food,
I
the
bet.
the food. I think. Oh my goodness, the food. I would have to say it's. Yeah, it's amazing. I think, again, with my mother, I'm so glad that she stayed true to her heritage and culture. And she always cooked those things for us, like arroz con pollo and empanadas. I grew up on that, and so the food is so good. And
Mm-hmm.
that I'm just, it's a blessing to be able to have grown up on that. So, something that's so funny is that when I have Thanksgiving, my Thanksgivings aren't the same as my friends. We don't have
Right.
the yams and the
The American, yeah.
macaroni. I love all of that stuff too. Like I'm like, this is so good. It's so different. But you know what I mean? It's so the only thing we have in common with Thanksgiving, I would have to say probably is a turkey and a ham. But other than that, usually the
Just the meats, right? Just
stuff
the meats.
is different. Things are
Mhm.
different. So I love his
And
food.
what about your dad, though? What is,
Oh yeah. So I love his food. I love
yeah,
so yeah, both sides have rice as a base of, most of their foods have is a rice base of some sort. But yeah, it's totally different, but also equally good. You know what I mean? Like I love Tanzanian food. It's so good. Like I'm actually wanting to learn how to make certain things because like I love it so much. I'm like I shouldn't have to only wait till special occasions to have it.
yeah,
Like I need to
yeah.
that. So my dad too. So I grew up eating both sides. So both sides. I'm sorry, both from both
Both
sides.
cultures. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it reminds, we have some people that just are joining. So why don't you tell them where your dad is from and where your mom is from?
Okay, yeah. My father is from East Africa, Tanzania, and my mother is from Panama, Central America, and yeah, they both migrated to the United States in the '80s. So I'm technically a second generation born immigrant. That's what they would reference me as.
Reference US.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. And your story is amazing. So thank you for answering the questions and thank you guys for sending the questions in. It's
Thank you.
always interesting. They were good, right?
Questions. Thank you for that.
They were good. They never let me down. So I appreciate that. And now is the time for me to read my favorite part of the book. So I'm going to read for a minute or two, and then I'm going to share why I chose this portion to read. And then I'm going to ask you to talk back to me and the audience about what you think about what I chose.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So I want to give a little background. So each section of the book is a different part of the features, the background, the culture. And the nice thing about her book here, Rukia's book, is that each page is in English and Spanish as far as the title. So you're teaching children a little bit,
Yeah.
at least the titles, they're learning in both languages. And
Absolutely.
your book is also translated in Spanish, so it
Yep.
would be the
It
reverse.
was the reverse. So
Right. So for example,
my hair. Yep. Mi cabello.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it is in English, but it's very, very nice. I love how you did that.
Thank,
Okay.
thank you so much.
So I am going to read the part that starts with my face. And this is the illustration that goes with that.
Mm-hmm.
My face, mi cara. Take a look. It's all in this space. Unique and lovely, our Latina's face. Round or long, whatever your shape, I want you to know that you are filled with grace. Freckles or not, or even a few spots. Beautiful faces are what we've got. Whether dark or light, full or petite, Latinas love their faces just like me. Love that.
Thank you. Thank
Okay. Next is my language, mi idioma.
you. Mm-hmm.
Do you know Latinas can speak one of several languages? Latinas speak French, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, or even English. With grace, we embrace different languages in this beautiful world. Whatever language we speak, you know we adore. Latinas' voices shine bright like the stars above. Whenever you see me and you hear me speak, know that Latina sounds just like me. I love it so much, Rukia.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Love it. And again, for those who are in here, this represents different countries where you will find Latinas and Afro Latinas.
Yep.
Okay. And the last page. Every Latina is unique. It is time for the world to see that Latinas can look like you or me. Embrace every bit of you. Shine bright, shine true. So here is to all the Latinas near and far. You are enough to be who you are. Rukia, it's such a beautiful message.
Thank you so much. Oh my
It really, really is. So let me tell you why I chose this part. I started with my face because even though it may not be the most important thing about us, we value it like it's the most important thing about us.
Absolutely.
And other people judge us like it's the most important thing about us.
That's true.
Right? So I chose that because you're speaking to these babies, right? You're speaking to these little girls,
Yep.
you know, who are being judged already by how they look.
Absolutely.
And if people think they don't look like they want them to look, or they should look, or they don't fit into a specific mold, that's their heart.
Yep.
Right?
That is true.
That's self-esteem, it's confidence, you know.
It is.
And this book is a blessing. It really is. But just to focus on the face, to let them know it doesn't matter what shape your face is. You don't have to be like someone else. You don't have to look like someone else, you know. And almost like the phrase in Nanku's book that she repeats, you're beautiful just the way, it's beautiful just the way it is. Yep. And that's what you're saying here. You're Latina. You belong in this community. You're a part of this community. You don't have to look the same as everybody else, but you're still a part of us.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? So I love that part. And then the next part, of course, is my language, because your language is a very important part of your identity.
Yep, it is.
Right?
Yep.
You grew up in a household where there were 2 languages going on. So what a blessing. What a blessing for you that you were exposed to 3 languages.
Yep, absolutely.
And yeah, and here in America, we're the only country that I know of that only speaks one language, teaches children one language as mandatory.
Yep.
Most other countries have their native tongue, but they also learn another language, and most times it's English, right?
Yep, I was going to say that, yeah.
So we're really missing the mark with our children here. So this is beautiful, and I chose the language because, just like you said, you need to be proud of those languages, not embarrassed.
Absolutely.
And many times over here in this country, certain people, I'm going to say certain people, try to make you feel embarrassed about your native tongue.
Yep.
So this book is speaking into the lives of these little girls.
Thank you.
That they belong and that their language is just fine. It's a part of who they are.
Absolutely.
And then finally, this is self-explanatory. Latinos are unique.
Yep.
No matter what their dreams are, no matter what their goals are, they should embrace themselves, embrace their heritage, embrace their community, and be whoever it is that God intended for them to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
That's what was in my heart when I read it.
Thank you.
And anything you would like to say about the parts that I chose?
Yeah, the one of my favorite parts of and a lot of people did not know that Latinas speak different languages. Languages I mentioned, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, and French, they're all Romance languages. So people did not know that. So Latinas don't just speak Spanish. They speak
Spanish, right.
Yeah, you know. So, I thought that was a really interesting element for people to know that, because they don't, that's all they teach us here is that Latinos speak Spanish, but no, they speak other languages. And
exactly,
Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish are very similar, very similar. I know that Portuguese is the closest to Spanish. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people who speak Spanish can understand someone speaking in
The
Portuguese
Portuguese.
because
Okay.
they're so similar. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then on your other side of your heritage, the African culture,
Hmm.
they don't just speak Swahili. There are many African languages. And French and Portuguese is included there too, isn't it?
And Tanzania, I think, what else is another language? All I know is about is Swahili, and I know my dad learned English in his
Yeah. Oh, they learn English.
learn
Yeah.
definitely that was mandatory, like you said.
Right. Because I know our friend Nanku, her native tongue isn't Swahili, it's something else. She probably knows Swahili.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we just put everybody into these categories and we think we know who they are and what they are.
Yeah, no, this
And
work.
we don't really realize that. So it's all about, really, it's about prejudice
Yeah,
and judgment.
yep, that is unfortunately, but yeah,
Yeah.
so many beautiful languages, so many different cultures that are just so amazing. So
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, I appreciate it so much. I love this
thank,
book. I can go on and on about it.
thank
And I think our friends here all appreciate your message. They receive your message, and they're just telling you also, just affirming of how important that it really is.
thank you
So
so.
I want to give your website again. It's Latina Looks Like Me, the whole, all one word,
Hmm.
no spaces. Latina Looks Like Me on social media,
Yep,
and also .com
yep, that's
for
right.
the book. The book is also on Amazon.
Amazon, Target.com, Barnes and Noble, Walmart.com. I think that's it. Yeah.
That's it?
I'm
Okay.
there.
Very, very good. Okay, so now that we got to know about you and your book, I'm just going to ask you what I call my final five. So
Okay.
these are five questions. They're a little silly, some of them, but
Hmm.
it's just a way of us getting to know you better.
Okay.
And the first question I always ask after we discuss the book is, it's about your level of nerdiness,
Hmm.
because I believe everybody has that. Some
Yep.
of us, strange people,
I,
have
I do.
several areas.
Hmm.
So what is it that you're nerdy about? What kind of nerd are you?
Goodness. I'm always interested. I mean, there's so many subjects that I'm interested in. But um, I don't know how to say. Let's see. I'm interested in the solar system.
Wow.
Aquatic life. I mean, I was sitting there talking to a friend yesterday, like, did you know that dolphins sleep with one eye open? I'm always interested about these little facts, these random little facts. So yeah, I
That's cool.
love learning about different things. And yeah, so astrology, um animal life, I mean, just all kinds of things. I'm always just up, my friends always calling me with different stuff because I know a little bit about a lot, and I'm
Yeah. Right.
because I'm one of those people who always wants to know why is this happening,
Hmm.
why is this. So I would have to say, yeah, I'm really inquisitive. I'm always wanting to know why about something. So
That's good.
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of character and smarts. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, oh my goodness. Whew. I would have to say, hmm, man, that's a good question. It's funny. I'm just getting into this. I haven't watched many movies. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen. Like, so all of the must see movies. A lot of people are like, "What? You haven't seen that?" Like,
Yeah, and you're behind. Yeah.
in fact, I just watched Remember the Titans yesterday, and I thought that
Really?
was amazing.
Okay, now that's far behind.
I'm way far behind. So I watched them. I think it's called Shawshank Redemption. I thought
Girl, that's my
that
favorite movie.
good movie. I just
Oh, that is on my list. That
last
is
year
on my list.
I saw that one last year for the first.
That movie is amazing. My husband and I watch that movie at least once or twice a year.
It's a good movie. It is.
That is an amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be like on my top five.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a good movie. If you guys haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, you have to see that.
Good movie.
Great movie. Another great movie, I'll just tell you, is Sling Blade. Who's seen Sling Blade? That's an older movie with Billy Bob Thornton.
Mm-mm.
Oh, all right, look it up. It's got to be on Netflix.
Check that out too. Okay,
Good movie.
right?
Sling Blade.
Oh,
Sling Blade.
thank
Yeah, it's a real good movie. Okay, so what is the issue for you that is your, like, where it's like, I cannot deal with this? What is that?
what can I not deal with? Let's see. I know it's several things. Let me see.
You said several things.
I not do. I don't like. I don't like. I don't like crowds. I think that
Rukia, wait a minute. Wait, okay, because your answer, not my answer. What month were you born in?
January 11th.
Okay, okay. I thought maybe you were born in my birth month because you've answered. I don't like that either, but go ahead.
What month?
October.
October, yeah. Big crowds. I think it
I do
becomes
not.
overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. I like being around people, but I'm an introvert at heart. I think that's something that people don't know. I like to be home, and
That's good.
I'm a homebody.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I don't like crowds either. Even before COVID, I was not a
Yeah,
person that likes to be in crowds.
it can be
Me
over.
too.
hmm
Okay, and so what about your favorite food? Is you kind of shared the Latin food.
I'm trying to see if I had to eat one thing over and over again. Let's see. I am my favorite food. I think pizza.
Okay.
Pizza. And my pizza, no one ever likes to get pizza with me because my pizza is so plain. I usually get cheese or just green pepper and onion. That's it. I don't,
That's it.
and if I'm feeling really good, I'll get hamburger, but that's it. Like,
That's it.
that's
Detroit pizza or the a regular kind that's
it.
round?
Detroit kind, Detroit style is
Detroit style. Okay.
out too.
Okay. All right. The last question is my favorite question. What is your favorite word to say, to hear, to use in your writing? What is your favorite word?
My favorite word, I would have to say, reciprocity.
Oh, good
Reci-
word.
Reciprocity. I'm big. I'm huge on it. I think that it's so important in all relationships. Reciprocity.
It is.
Pour into people and they should pour it back into you. And it shouldn't be one-sided where one person is just draining the other. So reciprocity.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give you a clap for that word. I like that word. That's excellent. Very good. You're right. In everything we do, there should
Yeah,
be reciprocity, right?
absolutely. Yep.
Good, good, good. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. And I would like you to just share any last thoughts about your book or anything else you'd like to share with us before we go.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much. You've been so supportive from day one. I'm so grateful that we've met and we became
Me
literary
too.
sisters. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Everyone, all of the sister authors, everyone is so supportive. I'm just so
Yes.
know all of you ladies, and I look forward to many more events with you guys, and hoping we can grow, and and I think what's so awesome about our group is that we learn from each other, like
Absolutely.
learn from one another. We're all like going through this process of self-publishing together, and it's just been amazing to connect with other women. You guys are my only author friends.
Oh, we're going to have to change that. We have to change that.
I'll say children's authors friend. That's what
Children's authors, yes, yes. And that's why I wanted to do this show because there's so many good children's book authors out there, but we're competing with the big publishing houses. And don't get me started on my rant about the diversity gap in that industry.
Hey.
Yeah, so we need to support each other. So when I started this series, who was going to be my first 6 guests were my sisters, my sister authors. I had to have you guys first. And I'm so glad I did because you all are amazing. You're just amazing.
Thank you.
So I want everybody to take a look again at Latina Looks Like Me. It's a beautiful message of inclusion within the Latina community. Everyone is different, everyone is needed, everyone belongs.
Absolutely.
And for us, everyone, not to judge. That's what and not just for others not to judge. And I look at these girls as real girls, but for them not to judge themselves.
Yep. Embrace yourself. I mean, it's just, I think that we live in a world that, everyone wants to be like the other, or wrong with being in your own lane, and just
the media.
And it's the media. And that's when I found that life was easier when I started to kind of, tread my own path and not follow what everyone else was doing. This is the happiest I've ever been, honestly.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Well, you have a great message, and everybody who reads this book would agree. And I did review this book a few months ago, so please look on my page and read that review. It'll give you even more insight on the book. I just highly recommend it. And you can go to her website and purchase it, or Amazon, or Target, or
even you could DM me. I have some on hand. So
good. And follow Rukia. Her name is Rukia, but her handle is the book.
Latina
Is the
Looks
book name.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, yeah. So, do you guys have any questions before we go? I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, somebody else is saying they love Shawshank Redemption. Oh, that's Tasha, and she is a movie nerd. She really is into the movies. So
It's because like I'm so behind, like it's crazy. So
yes, and Deontay is saying Sling Blade is a brilliant movie. See, yeah, those you got to see that. You have got to see that movie. And then of course Lynette is saying she likes pizza. So you're in good company here. Well, we all wish you the best with this book.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
Yes, you did a very good job. I'm so happy with the information that you shared. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to hear about your speech at the university, your presentation. And when is it?
That is September 30th. So September is Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mm-hmm.
I will be, keynote speaker. I can't believe it. So
I can.
I'm working on that. And so I'm going to be taking some public speaking classes over summer too. So that's what I'll be working on. So
good for you. Good for you. Well, you know, we wish you well. We definitely do. And we will see you on Instagram.
Absolutely. All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.